Welcome, great patriotic friends, to August 6th on Joe's Daily U.S. History Lesson. I'm your host, Joseph DeCristoforo. I'm actually not a history teacher. I'm an IT guy. I troubleshoot networks and security systems for a living. I just happen to do the show because I'm a proud patriotic American. And hopefully you're listening because you are also a proud patriotic American. I podcast this show from America's finest city, San Diego, California. And let's begin the show as we customarily do with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's everybody stand up, put our right hands over our hearts, and face the flags and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's awesome. And now moving on to today's headlines. Enola Gay drops the bomb on Hiroshima. Game of Thrones is published. Jesse Owens makes the headlines. And a couple birthday shout-outs to Lucille Ball and Edith Roosevelt, Teddy's wife. All right, so now let's do this. 1945. Enola Gay flies over Hiroshima and drops Little Boy, and Hiroshima goes up in a cloud of destruction. World War II was over in Europe, but not in the Pacific. Japan had refused for an unconditional surrender, which really disappointed President Harry Truman, who warned the Japanese of prompt and utter destruction. Given Harry felt he had no choice but to end the war now, instead of dragging it on, losing countless more lives. Little Boy was one of 2 atomic bombs that was loaded onto Lieutenant Colonel Paul W. Tibet's plane and dropped over the city of Hiroshima, unleashing the equivalent of 12,500 tons of TNT. All contact was lost in Tokyo. Japanese Broadcasting Corporation, no contact. Military headquarters tried calling the Army Control Station in Hiroshima, nothing but static on the line. A staff officer went out to fly to the area to check out why the city had seemingly shut down. Meanwhile, the United States publicly announced what had happened, which is how Tokyo got the news. When the Japanese military pilot got to about 100 miles from Hiroshima, he and his co-pilot saw the city of Hiroshima wrapped up in a cloud of smoke and not much else. The city was burning furiously. Only 28,000 of the city's 90,000 buildings were left. In all, about 129,000 people died as a result of the blinding flash, the fallout, and the ensuing radiation poisoning. On August 15th, another was dropped on Nagasaki. The Soviet Union declared war on Japan, and Japan finally surrendered unconditionally on September 2nd, 1945, thus ending World War II. The ethical justification for the bombings is debated to this day. 1996, George R.R. Martin publishes Game of Thrones. It was the first in a series called The Song of Ice and Fire. The novel won the 1997 Locus Award and was nominated for both the 1997 Nebula Award and the World Fantasy Award. The novella Blood of the Dragon, compromising the Daenerys Targaryen chapters from the novel, won the 1997 Hugo Award for Best Novella. In January 2011, the novel became a New York Times bestseller and reached number 1 on the list. In July later that year. Back in 2005, Time magazine called Martin the American Tolkien, referring, of course, to British author JRR Tolkien, who gave us The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. In 2011, a TV adaptation began airing on HBO, and last I checked, broke the record for the most Emmys for a drama series. On September 18, 2016, Thrones won awards for Best Writing, Best Directing, and Best Drama, bringing its all-time total to 38. Also making the most Emmy Awards for a fictional series. Wait a minute, fiction? You mean dragons aren't real? 1936. Here are the headlines. Des Moines Sunday Register. Owen ties Drake Dashmark. News-Telegraph. Hitler hosts Olympics. New York Times. Owens completes triple as 5 Olympic marks fall. 2 days ago, I talked in detail about how furious the Fuhrer was that his Aryan race wasn't as superior as he thought they might be after the Buckeye Bullet won the long jump, relay, and 100 and 200 meter races. After all, Hitler went all out for this event by eliminating almost all of the Jews from his teams, including pro tennis player Daniel Prenn, boxing champ Erich Sawlig, and track and field superstar Lily Hanoch. The Fuhrer was ready to prove to the world that Nazi Germany was here to stay, providing a state-of-the-art Olympic facility the world had never seen. And there were the Olympic flags displaying proudly next to the swastika flag. While Germany would win the Olympics with 33 medals, and the Americans would come in second place with 24, Hitler's dream possibly would have come true if it weren't for Jesse Owens, a black man competing with Aryans and physically outmatching them all. And the headlines did not lie. And finally, 1861, Happy Birthday Edith Roosevelt from Norwich, Connecticut. Former First Lady of the U.S., and wife of Teddy Roosevelt. So that, my friends, is going to wrap it up for August 6th on Joe's Daily U.S. History Lesson. Once again, I am your host, Joseph DeCristoforo. Check out the website, joesdailyushistorylesson.com. Let me know what you thought about today's program. For instance, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Could there have been a better way to finally end the Second Great War? Game of Thrones fans. What did that get, like 23 nominations or something like that for HBO? That's awesome. Or what about Lucille Ball fans? Is she or is she not one of the most smartest, most intelligent women to ever hit Hollywood? So yeah, let me know what you think. And be sure to check out tomorrow's program. I'll talk about Operation Desert Shield, the Neutrodyne Circuit, the Revolving Door, Purple Heart, Ted Williams, and Jewel. So don't miss that. In the meantime, you can catch me on Facebook and Twitter. My Twitter handle is JDUSHL. And until then, thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for being great patriotic Americans. We'll see you tomorrow.